Before we begin, I'd like to introduce our head table, most of whom do not need any introduction unless you are a visitor to our club. But our president, Tom Golden, our president-elect, Barry Nelson, our president-elect nominee, Mary Way, our treasurer, Chuck Swank, moving as usual.
No, I'm just trying to get more money for all those people that held up their hands.
And our secretary, Holly Berry. And then joining us at the head table today also is Richard Pine, who was Barry Nelson's sponsor, and he will be giving us a little deeper introduction into Barry's life in a little bit. So, knock knock. Tom Golden, of course, who has led us very ably throughout this year, and I also was thinking about the videos and how personal that was, and the fact that he had a lot of things. You know, any president has a lot of things to do. He handled them with a great deal of grace, humor, kept it light, and had a new knock-knock joke every single week. Tom Golden.
Time to go home. How's it getting better than that? Wow. Thank you. Obrigado. Hello. We started this Rotary year with the RI convention in Lisboa, Portugal. Lisboa means safe harbor. I hope that you, the Rotary Club of Salem, was and is a safe harbor for you. We have experienced changes, no doubt, but we have been protected by our fellow Rotarians. Not only is the harbor a safe place, but natural harbors are also strategic and have an economic importance. As a club that gets things done, I would say we are both strategic how we do it, and we certainly have an economic impact on those we engage. I'd like to thank past President John for the opportunities he gave me, and I look forward to what and where President Barry will lead us. Past RI President Ron Burton mentioned last year that we are like-minded in the goals we want to achieve. Yet we come from many different backgrounds. Let us celebrate our differences. You each have a different story to share. You each have words to share, to encourage others. If we are going to grow as a community, remember that kind words have the ability to endure in our lives. You may not really remember today, but you will remember how your fellow Rotarian made you feel. Yet, we also have the story of Rotary to share, and thanks to you all, and under the leadership of Steve and Russ, we introduced more people to Rotary than any other club in Salem? No. In Portland? No. In District 5100. That's right, District 5100. That's pretty exciting. Thank you. And speaking of being like-minded, we had a little party here for the district under the leadership of Ken and Linda. And to all of you who stepped up, one of the most successful district conferences ever, over 700 people, was held here in our house, right here. And then, with the lights barely off, we had our Good Works event. Under the leadership of Lauren Jones, you all stepping up again, the assistance of the charitable heart of our club, Salem Rotary Foundation, and with the collaboration of the Center of Hope and Safety, we attained our goal. $30,000 for the Center of Hope and Safety, which triggered a $30,000 match for the Center of Hope and Safety, and over $40,000 for our own charitable works. Pretty neat. In one event, your actions helped attain over $100,000 to our community and beyond. But don't forget, the Good Works Event Committee is working on a hands-on project with the St. Francis Shelter. No fundraising, just good old fun working together. And in some ways, this will replace the Elephant Air booth, which, for a variety of reasons, we will not be doing this year. But stay tuned, the St. Francis Shelter hands-on project will be coming. So for sure, you are all very good about being plugged in, engaged, here in Salem and internationally. Kudos to Chuck for keeping us in the black and for just becoming the district treasurer. Chuck became the district treasurer July 1st. Thank you to Holly for all that she does. She does a lot of work behind the scenes, and we would not be here if not for all that she does. And if you are interested in getting DAC-DB on your phone, she's the one to see. Ron Hayes has been active in community service. Vanessa Nordyke had one important position, letting the president know who is doing what each week, which certainly helped my sanity and helped the meetings go smoothly. Thank you to Cynthia Witham for leading the international service. We helped dig wells for clean water in Haiti, and even a hospital. That's right, a hospital has clean water for the first time because of you all. Bo Nyland has done a great job with New Generations, Youth Exchange, and RILA. Kirk Sun has been and is working on vocational services, and thank you. Patricia Callahan-Bowman has overseen our fellowship activities, and what a year we've had with those. And talking about a terrific job, look at what Tammy McCammon and her committee has done with communications, the e-blast, and website. Thank you. And another shout out to Russ and the membership for a great job, and to Lauren for a great job for fundraising. Again, thank you to President John, past President John, and finally thank you to Barry and the program committee for another great year of programs. Your board works hard and accomplishes many things. To thank them, I have made a contribution in their names to either the RI Foundation or the Salem Rotary Foundation. Thank you, board. And thanking people, let's give a round of applause to our servers. There's at least one in here right now. Others here at the convention center each week do a great job assisting us with our meetings. Again, thank you. And I would be remiss if I did not thank the staff at work for allowing me to spend this time with you this past year. And finally, thank you to my wife, Dina, without her support or understanding, I would not be here. Thank you, Dina. So, hope, dreams, memories. As we've gone through this past year, we have had hope that we would achieve our goals. We had dreams to strive for through Rotary. 10,000 miles towards Polio Plus was one of mine. And once again, I think we came pretty darn close or accomplished it. We got some bell ringers out of it, and one of you even aqua jogged for 53 miles. Great job. And now we have memories. Hope, dreams, memories. Pretty neat stuff. Thank you for sharing your hopes, your dreams. Thank you for the opportunity you gave me. Thank you for the memories of one great year in Rotary. And how could I not thank you for responding to corny knock-knock jokes? The reward, if you are wondering, is to hear you all respond at once each week. It is almost music to the ears. But alas, we are not your grandfather's, your father's, or your mother's Rotary Club. We are the Rotary Club of Salem. We take our work seriously, but we have some fun along the way. Engage Rotary, and you will change lives. Thank you.
And through the smiles and the tears now, we will continue. Yes, Vanessa's gone. Before we install our new board, we'd like to give thank you and acknowledgement to those who have served on the board for their terms and to recognize them. So I would like to, if you are here, I haven't seen all of you, but I'm going to call your names, and if you are here, would you please stand? John Shirley, our immediate past president. Patricia Callahan-Bowman has served 3 years on fellowship. Tammy McCammon, communications. Ron Hayes, Community Needs, Cynthia Witham, International Service, Vanessa Nordyke, Club Meetings. And completing their terms on the Salem Rotary Foundation are Larry Gray, after serving 4.5 years, and Mary Way, having served 6 years. Outgoing officers and directors. Though you are retiring from the administration of our club, your continued active involvement in this club is extremely important and highly encouraged. Will you join me in thanking them all for their service? And now Richard Pine will introduce us to Barry Nelson.
Barry was born in Portland, but after 1 year, wisely moved to Salem. He graduated from South Salem High School in 1995 and went to Willamette University, where he started on a degree in physics and engineering as a double major, but ended up with a degree in music education and a minor in mathematics, graduating magna cum laude. Prior to joining Rotary, Barry was already active in the community. He thought he would just do it for a couple of years as a student in college, but now Barry will begin his 18th year as section leader and soloist at St. Paul's Episcopal Church. He has served as the president of the Willamette Master Chorus Board of Directors, treasurer of the Salem Chamber Orchestra Board of Directors, and on the board of the GEM Children's Foundation. Professionally, Barry joined Capital Financial Planners in 2001 as an associate. His first day of work was 1 week before 9/11. Having survived both that difficult time and the Great Recession of 2008, and for some of us beyond, he hopes that he's seen all the stock market can throw at him. He became a partner in the firm in 2007 and is currently the managing partner. Barry earned his Certified Financial Planner, or CFP, designation in 2006. CFPs have agreed to ethical principles which require them to practice integrity, objectivity, competence, fairness, confidentiality, professionalism, and diligence. That sounds like a pretty good list for a Rotary president. In his financial planning and wealth management practice, Barry helps individuals, families, and business owners with the management of their investments and other financial planning services. He serves those with more than $500,000 in investable assets. Barry is a member of the Financial Planning Association and serves on the board of directors for the Willamette Valley Estate Planning Council. Barry is married to Heather and has 2 children, Carter, age 9, and Sawyer, age 6. Proud of this family, Barry shares that Heather recently received her master's in clinical research from George Washington University in Washington, D.C. She works as the cardiac research coordinator at Salem Hospital. While Carter is an outstanding baseball player, Barry will be racing to the airport after next week's Rotary meeting to fly with Carter to Little Rock, Arkansas, where Carter will be competing in the American Taekwondo Association's World Championship Tournament. Fingers crossed, a favorable bell ringer will be forthcoming in a couple of weeks. If not, a long airplane trip back. Sawyer is a little Energizer bunny. He enjoys wrestling, basketball, soccer, taekwondo, and piano. Outside of work, Barry's interests include family, music, woodworking, and coaching Little League Baseball. Some interesting aspects you might not know about Barry's background include his being a certified forklift operator, and the fact that his singing has taken him to numerous fascinating locations. He has had the privilege of singing in such places as Grace Cathedral in San Francisco, the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., Boston's Old North Church, New York's Carnegie Hall, and concert halls and schools in Japan, and numerous beautiful cathedrals in several European cities. A few years ago, I was proud to introduce Barry as a new Rotarian. Now I'm happy to give you more background on your new president, Barry Nelson.
Now, as we introduce the new and incoming officers, we'll ask Barry to stand first. Does everybody know Barry? Okay. Joining Barry on the board this year will be Tom Golden as the immediate past president. Mary Way, will you stand too? As I call your names, please stand. And Mary Way will be the president-elect. Holly Berry will be serving again as secretary, and Chuck Swank as treasurer. Beginning new terms on the board will be Ray Hausch, who will be covering club meetings. Natalie Dunn will be our fellowship director. Michelle Godfrey will be doing communications. Lucy Salmony, international service. And this just in, Maria Reyes, who you may know as Maria Salazar, is going to be our new community needs director. On the Salem Rotary Foundation Board, Mary Beth Bell, who is a current board member, will be serving a term as president. Please stand. Don Bostwick, current board member, will serve a year as vice president of the foundation. Tim Nissen will serve an additional year as secretary-treasurer, excuse me. Tom McGurr has been elected to serve a second 3-year term. And new to the Salem Rotary Foundation Board this year will be John Shirley for a 3-year term, and John McCulley for a 3-year term. Okay. Barry Nelson. I'm going to do this thing that Brenna did. Barry Nelson, you have been elected by the members of the Rotary Club of Salem to serve as our president. As an expression of our confidence in you, you have been entrusted with this important responsibility that will help shape our club's future and guide our affairs during the coming year. Barry, will you faithfully execute the office of President of the Rotary Club of Salem, and to the best of your ability, abide by district and Rotary International guidelines and uphold the Constitution and bylaws of this club?
I will.
Good. Incoming officers and directors. As an indication of your fellow Rotarians' esteem and confidence in you, you have been elected to important leadership positions in the administration of the Rotary Club of Salem and the Salem Rotary Foundation. We also believe that you will uphold the traditions and interests of our club, the object of Rotary, and the 4-way test. Will you fulfill the responsibilities of your offices to the best of your ability and in accordance with the Constitution and bylaws of the club and foundation, and also uphold and support President Barry?
I will.
I will.
Very good. Before you are seated, I would like to ask the continuing members of the board to stand up and be acknowledged. Continuing in the membership position is Russ McCracken, Lauren Jones in fundraising, Bo Nine in youth services, Kirk Sund, vocational service, and continuing on the Rotary Foundation Board, Doug Parham. So friends and fellow Rotarians, do you promise to support the leadership of our club, our foundation, and President Barry, and to encourage and support them throughout the 2014-2015 Rotary year?
We do.
I hereby declare the officers and directors installed and give Barry his gavel as an indication of his authority, the transfer of administration of this club, and may this be the best Rotary year ever. Barry, you want to ring the bell? Ring the bell.
Well, before we start the formalities, I think it worth mentioning that Chuck Swank, who has snuck away, but He's been treasurer of this club for nearly half my lifetime. But apparently he didn't think that was enough, so Chuck, thank you for taking on the role of district treasurer. I think that's phenomenal.
I think it's crazy.
I've had the pleasure of serving on the board of directors for 3 years now, and all 3 of those presidents have done a phenomenal job. That said, I must admit I've had more fun and gotten more laughs with Tom than I ever expected. So it's a privilege to have as my first act to be able to present Tom with something that every president-elect desires, and that is his past president's plaque, pin, and badge.
Those two.
The plaque, our secretary Holly Berry told me she took some liberty with this one, but Tom P. Golden, President, Rotary Club of Salem 2013-14, knock knock, who's there? Tom who? Just kidding, Tom. We won't forget your leadership, commitment, and joy you brought each week. Thank you for all you've done for the family of Rotary. And as a musician, I was always taught that the applause when you leave matters more than the applause when you arrive. And Tom, I think the applause following your address speak volumes about the job that you did as your year. And as a token of the club's appreciation, I have a gift for you, a gift certificate to Scott Cycle, which I hope you'll put to good use. And a gift for Dina, a nice dinner out.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully it's not an omen that the children's book that Tom and I signed this morning for the presentation was Chicken Little. The sky is falling. Light up Rotary. Past President Renee shared with us some time ago that Rotary International President Gary Wong had chosen the theme Light Up Rotary for the 2014-15 year. And here is the banner that you'll see for the next 12 months with the flags here. So let's get this out of the way. Light up Rotary. With President-elect training having been in the state of Washington after a certain law had been passed, there seemed hesitation by some to embrace the phrase, light up Rotary. The program committee certainly had fun with it when someone suggested a program on medical marijuana. Renee, of course, explained that President Gary arrived at the theme inspired by the Chinese proverb that it's better to light one candle than to sit and curse the darkness. You in this room don't need me to tell you the Rotary Club of Salem is an incredible organization of community leaders who regularly shine a light in what otherwise might be darkness in our community. You really have made Rotary Club of Salem an outstanding club, which makes it difficult for me to stand here and suggest we might be able to improve, but I suppose that's what presidents are for. I have a few thoughts on the year ahead. Number one, if we can do what we already do so well, but do it better, I think we'll be able to improve. We have some smaller activities that our club engages in that could use more support. We have a Rotary golf tournament coming up on Monday, July 21st. There are flyers on your table at Creekside that supports our providing dictionaries for every fourth grader in the Salem-Keizer School District. That's admittedly one of my favorite programs. It was one of the first that I got involved in this club. My understanding is that we had 8 people participate in that tournament last year. We can do better than that. If you enjoy golf, if you know someone who enjoys golf, let's get out there and make this a bigger deal. We can make a bigger deal out of Rotary Day at the Volcanoes, an annual event in support of Polio Plus awareness. This will be coming in August, and a portion of all tickets we sell goes to support efforts to eradicate polio. As important, it provides an opportunity for us to show the community who we are. RA President Gary has charged all Rotary clubs to put on a Rotary Day to increase awareness of Rotary in our community. This is going to be our Rotary Day. We're a co-sponsor of that event, and we can do this bigger. Our annual dinner and auction. We tend to do this event well. We have a lot of people who get involved, and it's very well supported. You certainly supported our major fundraiser in a big way recently, and I thank you for that support, and I thank you in advance for your support this Rotary year of that event as well. However, at our event, we had 80-some attendees. Let's double that. Let's do so by going beyond our members to include our friends and neighbors who might think they don't have time to be members of the club, but who would support the wonderful work you all do in our community. Let's do what we do, but do it better. And the second thought I'm borrowing from the past Rotary year, and that is engage. When people enjoy what they do, it's not work, it's fulfilling. And if it's fulfilling, it's worth sharing. I want each person in this club to feel as though you are contributing in the way that you want to be contributing. You probably didn't join Rotary to find out what lunch would be at the convention center on Wednesdays. Each of us has a unique talent and way in which we can use those talents to better those around us and better our community. Many in this club have already found what I call a Rotary passion, but I know there are members of this club who don't quite know yet how to fit in and make the difference they would like to make. I'm a big believer in matching talents with the Rotary passion, and if you're someone who doesn't know how to get involved in the club or someone who would like to be involved but in a different way, I encourage you to speak up. There are many in this room who would love to help guide you toward that fit that is comfortable for you, and I would be more than happy to help serve as a guide. Number 3, I want more people to know about Rotary and the great things this club, you, are doing in our community. It's a shame that I wouldn't know unless someone in this club had told me that the playground at Riverfront Park was put in by this Rotary Club. And I know there are some who are surprised to hear that right now today. It's a shame that when I ask someone in the city of Salem if they know about Rotary, many say no. There are some in our community who understand that Rotary is a collection of community leaders taking action to better the lives of those around them. However, polls conducted by Rotary International suggest that more than some in our community view Rotary as a bunch of old men who like to have lunch meetings. We're in the process of changing that. Let's continue to change it by spreading the good word about Rotary. Let's continue to change it by getting the community involved in our events. Let's change it by working side by side with non-Rotarians in our good works. And let's change it by inviting people to hear extraordinary speakers at our lunch meetings and to get to know us. As Tom mentioned, we won't be doing elephant ear booth at this year's art fair. The board unanimously decided after last year that your time and energy could be better utilized. We have a hands-on project coming up soon, and you'll hear more about that later. However, I also recognize that elephant ears was a great social opportunity for our club. We generally don't have time to do much socializing or catching up with each other at weekly meetings, and sometimes it's nice to be able to do this without an agenda. That's why I intend to start a once-a-month happy hour gathering beginning in August. While this will serve as an opportunity for newer members and those more seasoned to talk Rotary, perhaps in an effort to find a Rotary passion, there will be no agenda, no program, and you can come and go as you choose. I hope this will serve not just as an opportunity to socialize and get to know each other, but an opportunity for you to invite others to get to know some of the people in the club without the hubbub or the intimidation of a meeting. As long as we're on the topic of new initiatives, we have an exciting one in the works. I've long fretted over the fact that when our club does fundraising, we seem to primarily engage the wallets of those in our club. With Salem's incredible park system, it makes all the sense in the world to create a signature event to be held in the park system. I know the bridge from Riverfront Park to Minto has been delayed, but we need to think ahead, because if we don't do this, somebody else will. That is why we have a planning committee that has been working in partnership with the Rotary Club of South Salem to develop the first annual Salem Rotary Triathlon. Of course, not everyone in the community will want to participate as a competitor. Maybe not even everyone in the club will participate as a competitor in such an event, but this won't be a local event. This will be a regional event. We will host a professional quality sprint triathlon, Olympic distance triathlon, 5K race, 10K race, with the potential to make it a modular event, adding a half marathon or marathon or kids races in future years, or a beer garden or food vendors or other kinds of vendors in future years. Our city will welcome athletes and supporters from around the Northwest, and it will demonstrate to the community that Rotary is a dynamic, energetic, and vibrant organization. Both by profession and by nature, I'm someone who tends to think beyond the next year. So, although we've been working on the planning of the Rotary Triathlon for the past 2 months or so, I envision the first event will take place in August of 2015. And Mary has given her blessing for that. Don't worry. If we're going to host a major event in August of 2015, it makes sense to me to move our dinner and auction away from the month of May. Therefore, plans are in the making to space these events by moving our dinner and auction to February of 2015. This means the application for applying for the large grant associated with our Major Good Works project is also moving forward in the calendar, and the Good Works Committee is already on top of this and will make the application available next week. Spread the word to the nonprofit community that our grant cycle is opened earlier this year. We want another great project. We have numerous members who have expressed an interest in helping make this year's Rotary event a success. And if you think planning or fundraising might be your Rotary passion, I want to hear from you. You know you do incredible things in this community, and you have every right to hold your heads high. It's time that more people outside of our weekly meetings learn that we're not a bunch of old men who like to have meetings. It's time that more people outside of our weekly meetings learn about the great work that Rotary does, and sometimes that means inviting more people to our weekly meetings. I'm honored and humbled to be in this position, and I look forward to giving it my best over the next year. Let's improve, let's engage, and let's light up Rotary.